Welcome to my Vision News. Two news stories. First one is from the Tigray region of Ethiopia, where three opposition parties issued a joint statement last night. They held a joint press briefing. They are rejecting the ongoing process for the formation of interim government in Tigray. What are their concerns? Secondly, Ethiopian Human Rights Commission released a report a few hours ago about some killings which happened in East Wellega at the start of this month. I did some videos on the incident when it happened. Dozens were killed in East Wellega. What is the commission saying? Who is responsible for these deaths and who are the victims? From which ethnic group are they? Details for you. Firstly, viewers, three opposition parties held a joint press briefing in Tigray yesterday. And how many opposition parties are there in Tigray? Three. Salsevujene, Betona, and TIP, Tigray Independence Party. These three parties contested 2020 regional election. Others were not allowed and some boycotted too. There is TPLF and these three opposition parties. TPLF ruling party and these three are opposition parties. The three parties, the representatives in a press briefing rejected the ongoing process for the formation of interim government in Tigray. We know that a few days ago, Tigray regional government formed a 9-member committee to start discussions for the formation of interim government. And before that, opposition parties were declaring the Tigray government as illegal. They were demanding the establishment of interim government. 9-member committee has no opposition party members. No one from Salsevujene, Tigray Independence Party and Betona is member of this committee. At least 3 are affiliated with TPLF out of 9 reportedly. The committee is led by General Tadesse Varade, Tigray's military chief. When the war was ongoing in Tigray, he was the military chief of Tigray forces. And 2 days ago, Tadesse Varade held a press briefing. He briefed the media about a committee's work. He said that committee had started its work. Deliberations were underway for the formation of interim government in Tigray. He said that questions would arise and questions would be cleared. But he warned, he said, no one from inside or outside can stop this process. Interim government will be formed in Tigray. So after that, we were waiting for a response from Tigray's opposition parties, which spoke last night. They are rejecting the committee altogether. They say the committee is not inclusive. Firstly, the committee is illegal. How was it formed? No one knows. Nominations, just nominations, just ruling party and some others, they met and they finalized the members of the committee. So it's not inclusive, it's illegal, and its work is not transparent. Opposition parties say they were not and they are not part of any process which is being shown as the process ongoing for the establishment of interim government in Tigray. So we are seeing a clear dispute between Tigray's opposition parties and the ruling party TPLF about the formation of interim government. And we know that Ethiopian government has not released funds for Tigray regional government. Ethiopian government has laid out this condition that funds will be released after the establishment of interim government in Tigray. All services have not been restored in Tigray. Tigray is still under siege. Commercial activity between Tigray and neighboring regions is still suspended. Transport between Tigray and Amhara far suspended. Why? Because a lot will happen after interim government is formed. That is why deliberation started, but without the participation of Tigray's opposition parties. Now it seems that Tigray military is split. I will do a separate video on the split within Tigray military officers. Some are supporting TPLF, like Tadesse Varade and two others. They became part of this committee. I think they should have asked the TPLF-led Tigray government to make opposition part of the committee as well. They did not. Rather, were they in a way threatened? He said, no one can from inside and outside can stop the process for the formation of interim government. I think he should have tried to make the committee more inclusive and participatory. So people will accuse him and others, other Tigray officers, military officers, part of the committee, that they are supportive of TPLF's position. So clear split within military is being reported. I'll speak on that in coming videos. So far, it seems that ruling party and opposition, they are the loggerheads and no signs of reconciliation. Who will intervene? I think military was one of the players which could have intervened in this confrontation. Military seems to be taking sides. Now, Addis Ababa government, federal government will have to intervene. International community cannot be directly involved in this process. Diaspora is split and some diaspora members are reportedly part of this committee. So what is left is the intervention of federal government. It should intervene because without its intervention and consultation, I think a participatory, inclusive interim government in Tigray is not likely. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian Human Rights Commission has released a report about some deaths, some incidents of violence which happened in East Wellega at the start of this month. It was the 2nd and 3rd of February when we reported that dozens had been killed in an attack on people in East Wellega, and back then both sides accused each other. Amhara news sources accused Oromo Liberation Army, while it denied having killed any civilians. And then started the investigation by Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia, led by Daniel Bakele. The report was made public yesterday. The commission says that between the 2nd and 4th of February this month, according to locals, Oromo Liberation Army fighters attacked IDP camps where ethnic Amharas were staying. It happened in East Wellega, Gobo, Sio, Wareda, Ano village. In that attack, 50 were killed and several were injured. Out of 50 killed, 42 are ethnic Amharas and 8 are civil servants. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia is accusing the Oromo Liberation Army based on the statements of the victims and their families. Ole denies having carried out any attack on civilians. Ole's position is that Amhara militia members are being armed and mobilized in Wellega, and Fano fighters have entered Wellega. these armed militias are receiving support from outside Amhara region. And fighting was between OLA fighters and these Amhara armed militia members, and they were killed in this incident. So in a way, OLA confirms the incident, but it says that killed were not civilians. It's difficult to distinguish between civilians and combatants in Wellega, viewers, because even OLA fighters, they can be fighters at night and civilians in the day. And same can be said about Amhara locals too, who are being armed, who are armed in parts of Wellega now. So it's difficult to differentiate between their roles as civilians and as combatants. And these incidents will continue. It's not the first that I have reported. I have reported dozens so far. What is needed is a long-term comprehensive solution, which is not in sight, I think. All sides are pursuing political, ethnic agendas, but no one is making sincere effort for a solution to this conflict between ethnic Amharas and other ethnic groups, Oromos, between armed factions. For years, this conflict has been ongoing. It has several aspects: political angle, religious angle, ethnic angle, territorial control, border issue, lots of issues. And so far, no concrete progress made to resolve this issue. Thank you for watching.